Hi, this is a new episode of Podcaststuffandsuch, and today my topic is, I don't know, maybe I will name it after the episode. I have a name, but I know the topic I want to discuss or what angle I want to take, and it's kind of, when looking back to the last episode, it's kind of what I was talking about in that episode, but it was more on music. So what I want to talk about is to spot when something is genuine and 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 good, and when it appears to be genuine and good, but it is still profitable in the main way. So yeah, so if you think about it, or if you know, there are videos where people give homeless people money, and that's kind of like the basic of that of this skill. These are not genuine people. If they were genuine with their thing, they wouldn't record them when they give their money. It's just to boost their um, uh, their appearance. So, and kind of this was the same thing with the songs I discussed. I always feel like these are songs that express themselves better than they are really are in their intention. And so, and I think, even though I wouldn't say I'm an expert of it, but I'm not that naive than some people I encounter. You have to be like, you have to not question, but check for a moment if this is really genuine or not. Is this really like a telling of the person? You are not a good person if you make a purchase and they ask you after, and they ask you um, when you check out at the checkout, if you want to spend $1 for an organization. This doesn't make you a good person. This is still helpful and nice, but this is not something somebody should be praised for if they do it. The point about someone who is genuine is that they do something that is a lot of effort in their position they're in, and they still do it. It is not something that should be praised if your effort doesn't, if it is like 5% of effort for you to do that. It's still helpful, but then you shouldn't be praised for it. The people who are doing something, for example, if you have like really many things on top of your plate and you don't have really time, but so for example, you have like a test tomorrow, and then your best friend calls you up and they're in a really, something happened which is made them really sad, whatever, really, like divorce, breakup, whatever, and you take the time out to listen to them because you think, I know there's a test tomorrow, but this is also important. That makes you genuine. When you take something that you don't have the capacity really for and you make it work, this is genuine. Not if you take something which is like 2% effort for you extra, it doesn't change. This is why I'm not impressed when I hear like the donations from um, uh, big millionaires, billionaires. If it is like 10% of your money to spend, this is not something, it's really difficult because it's still helpful, but you should keep in mind this doesn't make them like something they should be praised for, because it's such a low effort for them. Even though it is high money they spend, it is low effort for them. It's not much for them to do this, and it's easy for them, and they have um, the positive aspect of that they are appearance more genuine and nice than they are really had to make an effort. It doesn't mean they are not nice or genuine, but this is not a action that shows that. This is simple, not that. And you should be able to spot when someone is genuine. And I think not many people are that genuine. So you will spot a lot of people, and that is like the normal case. Is you will spot people who will do nice things, but they kind of want to have something in return for that. And this is not bad or evil or something. That's just the normal case of it. You don't will find people who don't want anything from this. They always have like intention behind it, belief, a wish, what will come out of this. And if you spot someone who's really genuine, who makes something for another person, and which doesn't benefit them in any way, then say that to them, say them how incredible it is, because it is incredible to do that. But it is not incredible, and I can't see when people get praised for that. They get the same. The thing about it is everybody wants to be a hero. Everybody wants to be praised as a hero, but not many people will want to take the sacrifice which would be to be that. And this is not how this works. You don't get the feeling that you did something good when you not did that what makes something selfless or heroic. You don't get be treated like a hero if you didn't do things that a hero does. Just to make it more clear. And it just makes me angry when I see people get so easily so easily get fooled by people who are just good at presenting themselves. This is something you should be certain when you see something that is kind of cool. Actually, always think about if this is possible. Is there a big profitable point for this person to do that? And if there isn't one, then you spot someone who's one of a kind, or like one of the few. You mostly will spot people who want to something out of this. And then you have to think about how much it is understandable and reasonable balance they want out of it, and how much it is like get more from it, that they really had to put an effort into it. And I don't mean that everything you do has to have an effort to be good. Like there are thousands of stories of musicians who wrote songs in 1 hour, which became big hits. You could argue, well, that's not a big effort, but it doesn't need to be. It worked. So I just mean it on that topic. And so, for example, and that is also my personal take, but I feel like it is one of the biggest allowed evilness in society, which is appreciated, and people spot too late the good and the bad people. So I will talk about humor. Humor is, for me, one of the reasons why many people who are bad and mean don't get easily recognized, because you can always hide it behind humor. And the thing is, people who are humorous, they can be mean and bad, but they make it funny. So I know this is the most unhumorous take, but what you will find, and that's why people will come for me when I say this, who are humorous, they don't. The thing about humorous people, or big humorous people, most of them are really, all it is, they really make everything about themselves to represent. They make everything like ammunition for the next joke. If something happens, they just kind of think about, okay, what joke I could do with that. And they don't have that moment where they just hear something and just process it and maybe just think, okay, what does this person try to tell me and what can I say to that? They make it about always the joke. And they're good at it. They're good at it, but they are not people that I want to spend my free time with, because I enjoy that. I don't think this is something that is helpful as in a friendship or in a relationship if you have a person like that. And I don't mean that they are all evil and stuff, but you will find a lot of them have like a mean kind of spirit. Just because they are good at hiding it and make it enjoyable to watch doesn't mean that their intent was not mean or evil. And I can assure you, every comedian, every humorous person made a funny joke because they were genuinely upset, but they're just good at making it funny. Everyone. You will not spot a comedian who didn't take their skill to express their anger for something they're really upset about and make a joke about it. You will not spot it. Every comedian, every humorous person does that. And so you have to be sure, if you are around people who are pretty funny and humorous, what is their, when do they make their jokes? What are their jokes about? So for me personally, what is for me really telling is somebody who makes always jokes about other people, but they don't make jokes about themselves. But then there's most of the time these people have like a really competitive edge. So what humorous people don't like is people who try to be funny and are not funny. I don't know why they act so aggressive to it, but they really just check next time when you make a joke with a person you find really funny. They will always try to say something to that. So, and you laugh because you're more about connecting and be in the moment. For a humorous person, this is not about it. It's about competitiveness, and it's also about showing who is the funniest. I don't know. This is because this is why I can't deal with most of them. And I think it is too much hidden and too much appreciated what intention these people have, and not everybody has the intention of make something to make people laugh. It is much more self-centered and much more make the moment about themselves, and it's much more about make it about you and see what you can use for your next punchline, next joke. It is less about listening and just try to find what the person says in the moment. It's more about what can I get out of this. And that's the point I said. Always ask yourself, what if this person can something out of this? Before I praise them for being genuine and nice, just ask yourself, what do they get out of this? And most of people will do stuff because they can get something out of this. They have some wish, they have some promise of that, and that's the normal case for most of us. So, and when you spot somebody who is really genuine, then say that to them. But don't praise the people who are not genuine. Just don't get fooled by that. Be realistic and see what it is. And maybe it's not the most bad thing in the world, it's the most normal thing in the world. And we should just be it like that. It's not something that is extraordinary. It's just normal. That's most of us are. And be not so easy to fool. And especially, so one trick I have is when I encounter with somebody who is pretty beautiful. And I had some encounters where I was attracted to a person, and then they had like an action which I found so disgusting or hateable, for like I can't deal with that personality. It changed how I see that person. So if you have somebody who is really attracted, and I think we all have like judgmental and what's the word for it? When it's superficial elements we are drawn to. So my trick is, if somebody says something to you, or you find like a situation, or you are in a situation, if the person is really pretty, just think about it, or imagine if the person was really ugly and said that, if you would still enjoy it or not. And vice versa, if you have a person who's really ugly, imagine if they were really pretty and if you would then enjoy what they said. This is how you can train your mind to see when you are superficial and when you really recognize what the person is really saying and what they are about. So, I don't know. It just makes me so frustrated when I see how easily people fall for the same kind of people. And it's always the same tale. It's always about this person looks so nice and so sympathetic, and then 20,000 people say they are nice and sympathetic. So there are people who stay that way, but most of them. So if you have a person who is pretty loved, recognized, you can be sure that this person has a lot more free room in their actions, what they will do. As a person who doesn't have, who cares more, like if I have a car and I destroy my car in an accident, and I can buy with not much effort, I have much money on my back. It's just like the same like buying groceries for the next day. This is how much money I have. And I can buy the next day a new car, the same car that was destroyed, even if I have to, I want to. How much would this change how I care about my car, and how what's the word? I'm sorry. How gentle, how I don't know the word for the moment, but you know what I mean. Like how much I be what's the word? Please. What's the word? How much I care for my car, how much I protect it. This changes a lot. Even though maybe for some people it's the same, they just take care, they just protect all the things they have. But most of people, when they have the the knowledge that they can replace it pretty easily, they don't take care of it. And you can be certain if this is the same with relationships, because this person has a lot of people around them, you can be certain that some of them have that that mindset. They can replace it. Tomorrow they can have another person, a new friend, and they have all the, it doesn't change it for them. If you can what's the point? If you can have like a sentimental connection to your car or one, then you would say, well, it's not the same car, even it's the same car. And I know this example is really for some people triggering, because I explain human connections the same as object, but you have to think, you have to see the mindset. This is not how it should be, but for people for some people there's no difference in that. And you have to spot these people. And if you fell for them, you make the one thing that they could have, you give it to them. So because they maybe are successful, and then they are successful, they are appreciated, but they know how dirty they play. And then they make something like this, like something that, like giving money to homeless people. And then they appreciate it again for being a good human. You give them something that they never wear, and you fix their problem they had. Even though they know it's not real, even though they know they're not genuine, really, you don't know it. And then they have like a new award. They're not also the most successful person on earth, they're also the most genuine person on earth. So they have a new one. And so don't make that so easy for them, because that's the one thing that they can't achieve pretty easily. And if you make it for them so easy to achieve, you just make it, you make it so much harder for people who are really genuine. Not to be seen, but I don't know. It's just like, if everybody does that, this will not help the society. But if you does that and it helps you a lot, then why would you stop? And a lot of people don't stop. So that's my take for now. And thank you for your time. Bye.